at that time there was a lot of these offcuts, and some old boy says if that bit of land, if you don't put a fence around that, you'll lose it. So at that time I didn't have much money, so I got a lot of these old offcuts of timber with the bark still on, you know. And I got all the way around my perimeter. Well, that was George J. started off. He used to call me Crockett, Davy Crockett, because of that log cabin, you know what I mean? And I just try to think of it, and of course, old George, they called him Squilly.
Yeah.
And then there was some old boy, Titlark, he was another old fisherman, I remember him. An old
Titchpeg.
Titchpeg, an old Titlark.
Rowley
Grimes. Yeah.
Gully.
Then there was Reggie, his name was Ginger.
Yeah. Gully,
yeah. They was old fishermen, yeah.
So what do you know what some of these nicknames came from, and what was their origin?
Oh dear, I don't really know. I don't know how they come about. I really don't. What was Rowley called Rowley? Well, his first name was Roland, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But they called him Rowley. Then there was Gully. Why they called him Gully, I don't know. Then Alan Cooper's father, Diddy. Why did they call him Diddy? Then there's old Finney who used to live here.
Darcy.
Used to be pilot with with Tanda Smith. His name was Tanda or Tender.
Yeah.
And this old boy here, we used to go with him, was called Dosser.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. How these nicknames are right, I don't really know, you know.
And is that what you called people by their nickname?
Usually, because they seem to answer that quick and they do their own name. No, you see, when I brought up as a fisherman, it was a different way of life. They was all good people. They all helped one another. They got a living from the sea, but they never got right rich, you know what I mean?
As your uncle would say.
Eh?
As your uncle would have said, that's education. That's what's doing it.
Who? What did you now say?
He used to say, that's education.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, going back to the fishing days,
People know too much.
we had the old sort of Wiltshires where we used to boil all the shellfish, you know. On bad days, we had one little workshop. 8 of us in there. There's me and my cousin, and my uncles and my father and my old grandfather sat there. And one of them, Lodi, his real name was Charles MacDonald, nickname was Lodi, and it was like the House of Commons in there. You never heard anything like it. They start arguing. He used to say, "You mark my words, my boy," he said, "there's too much education in this country and ruin it. Don't be so silly, my grandfather used to say, don't be so silly, my boy." He said, "That's got to come." And that's strange though how things turn out, you know.